Hey, thanks for coming to my channel and checking out this workout video. I'm trying a new format of showing a few reps of each exercise back to back for 3 push days, 3 pull days, and 3 leg days. And then I'll post updates about every 2 weeks or so. First up is back and biceps and assisted pull-ups. I'm doing an at-home workout today because I was exposed to COVID on vacation and wanted to make sure I wasn't sick. The rest of the week, I went to the gym when it was the most empty. At home, I used the resistance bands, and the pull-ups were still very hard, but at the gym, I was able to progress by getting in a few more reps. At home, I did barbell rows and actually used a slightly lower weight. When you use free weights versus a machine, you have to use a lot more muscles to keep you stabilized, and it's going to be harder, but I was happy to be able to progress by increasing the weights when I went back to the gym. On the upright rows, I was able to increase my weight and reps. It's really hard, as you can see, for me to keep my upper body completely still for this exercise, but I tried. I will actually not be performing this exercise routinely anymore, and I will go into that more later. Reverse flies at home were difficult just for the fact that I couldn't really measure how much resistance I had, but I felt the burn, so it's an effective exercise if all you have are resistance bands. Once I was back to the gym, I was able to increase my weight. Bicep curls were good at home, but when I picked up 2 17.5-pound dumbbells at the gym, I was like, nope. And I felt like I wasn't getting a good resistance through the whole range of motion on typical bicep curls. So I'm going to try doing cable curls for a few weeks and see how that goes. I definitely need to work on trying to keep my elbows tucked in to my side. On the third day, I didn't hit record when I thought I did, so that's missing. Here is my chart for back and biceps. I like to highlight a box of green if I increased my weight for that day. Next up are my leg day exercises. Squats, if you can do them, are in my top 5 list. A little bit of progression in the last 3 leg days. I will probably drop my rep range down from 8 to 10 to 6 to 8 in order to be able to lift heavier and not run out of steam in the middle of my set. Leg extensions are next. I'm finally starting to slow down on increasing the weights on this exercise. Before, I was just blowing through it. I feel like my quads are way stronger than my hamstrings, and that's why I have an extra workout that focuses on my posterior chain. Hamstring curls are next. I started failing on this leg exercise way before the extensions, but I was able to progress a little bit in these last 3 exercises. Next up are Romanian deadlifts, or RDLs. I just recently started implementing this workout into my routine, and I'm still blowing through the weights pretty easily so far. One of the best tips I've ever heard for getting the hinge movement of the hips down is to pretend like I'm shutting a car door with my butt. Another exercise I'm still blowing through are calf raises. I've yet to fail on them, but I'm getting close. I'm up to 120 pounds, but if you think about it, that's not even my body weight. I'm having a hard time keeping my butt in the seat, so I'll probably switch to the other machine soon where the weights rest on your knees. I have a love-hate relationship with hip thrusts. They are at the very end of my workout and they are starting to get really hard. It's an excellent way to burn out my glutes at the end of my workout. Here is the progress chart for my leg day. I'm still continuously progressing in several exercises, but I always feel really accomplished when I'm done, but also completely exhausted. Here are my last couple of chest and tricep days. These have always been my weakest exercises. First, I'm doing bench presses. I'm slowly but surely increasing how many reps I can do with the current weight. I am trying to focus on keeping my elbows slightly tucked in and not at 90-degree angles to my body, which can cause injury. Next are my overhead presses. And now I know that I need to bring the weights forward a little bit and not have my elbows straight out to the sides. This is probably one of my least favorite exercises. I actually had to deload down to a previous weight and increase the reps so that I can try to break out of this stall. Dips are next. I was able to decrease the amount of assistance I needed so that I'm slowly moving toward being able to do body weight dips. I've been stuck on the same weight with flies for a while, but slowly doing more reps, and I will be able to increase the weight on my next chest day. I like the fly machine better than dumbbells because I can feel the resistance throughout the full range of motion. Cable tricep pushdowns are another exercise I'm probably going to have to deload and increase the reps on. My shoulders and my triceps are probably my weakest muscles. And here is the chart for my chest and tricep days. You may have noticed that my chest day workouts only had 2 days for each exercise. That is because on Saturday, about 3 days after my last chest and triceps workout, I started having some pain in my shoulder and limitation in my range of motion. And I thought it might be likely that I may be having a rotator cuff tear or possibly some shoulder impingement. I've always felt like I've had a little bit of instability in this shoulder here. I do occasionally have some issues with it. So I did some research, and just from my health background, I know that physical therapy and anti-inflammatories is typically the first choice for mild rotator cuff tears. So I did get a workout off of an orthopedic organization website that I started doing. I will have these workouts on my video today, but I will be performing these workouts instead of my normal chest and tricep days, and even my back and bicep days, because of the amount of discomfort it is for me to fully extend my arms in front of me or up above my head, or to cross my arm over my body. So I will just be doing these workouts, and my upper body workouts will have to be on hold until I'm feeling a little bit better. So here are the exercises that I did. This is the arm pendulum, and it actually felt pretty good on my shoulder and was almost the only way that I could fully extend my arm out. Stretching my arm across my chest, using my other arm to hold all of the weight, kept my arm from hurting, and it gave the shoulder a good stretch. I'm just using the stick to pull my right shoulder over inward and then using it to rotate my shoulder outward. This was very uncomfortable because it hurts to lay on that shoulder. But once I get into position, I actually use my other arm to rotate my arm down toward my feet. And you can see I don't have a lot of range of motion that way. These are just some resistance band rows. Pretty easy. This was a little bit harder, doing a more of a rotation movement. And it's hard to keep my elbow still. Rotating my arm inward. And then rotating my arm outward, which was a little bit harder. This is just retracting my shoulder blades back. And this is kind of doing a scapula roll, I guess you could say, with a 5-pound weight. None of these exercises were painful except for the one where I laid on my shoulder. But my shoulder was actually pretty tired after doing these stretches and workouts.